Joining us now is Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo. He wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post titled, "As a police chief, I see Minneapolis as a crucial test of our profession. Here's how we can avoid failing." Thank you so much for your time, Chief.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be on, but sad about the circumstances on which we're meeting.
Of course. There is an advocacy website called Fatal Encounters. Now, it documents deaths involving police officers. According to their database, not a single day has gone by through the 30th of this year, May 30th of this year, without a police-related death. Curious to understand why, when we're talking about the African-American population, it makes up 13% of the American population, but about 26% of those deaths. Let's just take a step back and try to understand the disconnect, try to understand the why and what can be done to stop that.
You know, I think that we've had our own issues here in Houston with a lot of use of force incidents, but we've got to take them individually and make sure that, number one, when one happens, that they're properly investigated, that when the investigation is complete, there's complete transparency, and most importantly, when the criminal misconduct occurs and it is not justified, that we actually hold police officers accountable. Sadly, what's going on in our country is not just disproportionality in terms of when bad policing occurs, it impacts communities of color, the African-American community, and the Hispanic community disproportionately. Often it impacts all communities. Policing is probably the most visible cog of what's wrong, but it extends well beyond policing, and we've got a lot of work to do as a society. And
when you say we've got a lot of work to do, what can we start to do in order to rebuild these relationships?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, we need to have an approach across the country on how do we respond in terms of a use of force. And let's talk about what we do, how we do it, how we make it better. This is our moment to come together and actually look to see how we can make policing the best it can be for the good cops and for the community that deserve those good cops.
George Floyd was obviously from Houston. Tomorrow, the city will honor Floyd with a rally and a march. And you've offered the family a police escort when Floyd's body returns home, saying, give us that honor. Why is that honor so important? And do you believe that that could help start a healing process?
Well, I think, look, when you look at a son that was taken from a family, a brother, an uncle, a friend, and we want the Floyd family to know that we feel their pain, and we're going to help them do what they need to do to honor their loved one and George, and actually make sure that we secure them, keep them safe, but most importantly, that we not allow anyone to hijack the legitimacy of what we're trying to do, which is to put that man to rest in a respectful manner.
The Houston Chronicle editorial board is calling on you to release the videos from the 6 incidents where Houston police killed a man in recent months. While each case is different, can you commit to releasing videos of officer-involved shootings that happen in Houston?
I am committed to it. But I want to start with the family first. If in a case where an officer gets charged, this is Houston, Texas, the most diverse city in this nation, a minority majority city served by a minority majority police department, the last thing we want is if there's an indictment of a police officer, and I have released all the videos, that because of the pretrial publicity, the trial is moved to a part of Texas that is not as diverse, as progressive as our city, and all of a sudden the individuals get off because we did not have an opportunity for our community to weigh in on the appropriateness of the charge. I think that that is another insult to this community, and that is what, you don't have to agree with me, but that is what is in the forefront of my mind as we navigate and balance these different, I think these different priorities.
You say in your op-ed, in order to move forward, there needs to be a commitment to accountability. In the case of George Floyd, the original report was titled "Man Dies After Medical Incident During Police Interaction," and says that Floyd, quote, physically resisted officers. It does not mention anything about Officer Chauvin placing his knee on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Would we be having this conversation tonight if there weren't video? And should the police report itself be investigated?
Yeah, I think that, of course, how you document a report, they have to be factual. It's a government document. I have never, ever seen someone have a knee placed on their neck in all these years of policing. and someone asking, like Mr. Floyd did, for "I can't breathe," and asking for his mother, and then to not pick up your knee or have those 3 other officers move that officer off of him after he's sitting there quietly begging to please be let up, that's a problem.
Lastly, Chief, you've said that we will not let people come to our city and tear it up. Well, with more protests planned for tonight, what advice are you giving your officers? And also, how do you balance peace versus protection? So I'm curious, your advice to officers and your advice to anyone protesting tonight.
And let me tell you that I'm so proud of the young men and women of the Houston Police Department and our friends that have come to help. Our response has not been perfect, but it has been, like my mayor told me, Mayor Sylvester Turner, who called and said it's been exemplary so far. But that's a two-way street. So has our community. And we ended up making some arrests. But at the end of the day, we made those arrests without any injuries I'm aware of to any protesters, no tear gas, no rubber bullets, but with the most professional manner possible. And we have a lot to be thankful for here in Houston.
We hope things will continue to remain peaceful and stay safe. And thank you so much, Chief Acevedo. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.